Good morning, good evening, and welcome to today to Entrepreneurship with Purpose Conference. So I know we're late, but there's no time like the present, right? So we are live, we are here. So my name is Piwe Mwabe, and I'm a storyteller, content creator, and writer. And I am also the founder of Buhlale Hub Africa, where we have a platform, an online platform where we amplify the voices of Africans on the continent, placing women, children, and the youth at the forefront. So, in light of the International Women's Day, we want to have a conference, and we want to celebrate women that have made strides socially, culturally, politically, and we want to place female entrepreneurs at the forefront. We also want to speak to Sustainable Development Goal 5, where we are accelerating gender equality and echoing the break the bias. So we want to do this by having inspirational and life-changing stories of female entrepreneurs and everything entrepreneurship. The hashtag to follow is break the bias, amplifying voices and authentic stories. So if you are live with us watching, please do comment where you're watching us from. And if you're an entrepreneur, please do share with us what you do. And if you also want to tag your business, please do tag your business. At the same time, please, if you're also not an entrepreneur and you're aspiring to be an entrepreneur, you're more than welcome to just join in and also share what you like to do. And if you also if you can't access this platform, our LinkedIn platform, you can head over to our YouTube channel, which is Piwe Mwabe, as it's written here. So today we are going to be tackling a very important subject, which is the importance of wellness in entrepreneurship. And I have my very good friend, like an expert. If you don't keep friends who are smarter than you, I don't know where you're gonna go. I don't know what's gonna happen to you. So I have my friend who's an expert who's going to be helping us tackle this topic and to have this in-depth discussion, and he's here. How are you, Mr. KP?
Hey P, yeah, I'm KP and you're P.
Yeah. How are you doing? Are you okay?
I'm doing so well, and you've been making me smile, radiating great energy. And it's a privilege, it's a great opportunity I can't take for granted to be on this platform. And it's been a while I saw you, and so it's good to see you.
I'm happy to have you here. I'm really happy to have you here. So, I just want you, before we get right into it, I would like you to just introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are and what is it that you do.
All right, thank you so much. Even though I really don't know how to do adverts so much, but I'm gonna try.
Try, try. That's all that matters. We need you to
Yeah.
try.
Okay, good. So let me sell myself a bit.
Sell yourself.
My name is Kunle Kwelemo from Nigeria. I currently reside in Nigeria. I am a global mental health strategy, a global goodwill ambassador, and an ambassador for the Kindness Games as well. And I'm also the chief mental health strategist of My Care Buddy. That's a mental health platform in Nigeria. And I am the CEO of Control HQ International Limited. That's a training company in Nigeria as well. We do personal development consultation, and I do a whole lot of things, but basically, I am a mental health advocate in Africa, and I do collaborations. I mean, with the whole world, in general, with everybody across the world. So that's the little that I can say because I don't want to take much of your time. We're going to continue the conversation, and that might reveal some of the things you need to know about me as well. So keep your fingers crossed.
Oh, thank you so much. You can sell yourself. Like, I believe you. I believe you. You can sell yourself. That was on point. That was on point. I loved everything about that intro. Let's just get right into it. So today we'll be tackling the importance of wellness in entrepreneurship,
Mm.
focusing on wellness, productivity, and growth. Let's just get right into it. So, if you also have questions for KP, please don't be afraid. Drop them in the comments, and we'll just get right into it, and he'll answer what he can. So, I just want to read this before I ask the first question. So, the demand for mental health services is increasing in Africa, particularly among vulnerable populations like women. Like, let that simmer. That is that resonated with me because I am a woman and I am African. So
Mm,
I just wanted to put that out there before we get into the question. So let's just get right into it, the importance of wellness and entrepreneurship. So, Mr. KP, please, I'd like to hear from you. Why is it important for entrepreneurs to prioritize wellness?
mm. Thank you so much, P, for that wonderful question. Before I delve into the question, I must commend what you're doing. I must laud what you're doing with particularly Africa, and then with your platform as well. Not only for Africa, because Africa also holds a pivotal role in the global economy. So you are also doing this at the global stage, like you call yourself a global citizen, just that you're from Africa. So I must appreciate that. Now, to the question you asked, the truth of the matter is there is something I call the tip of our health iceberg. The tip of our health iceberg. Remember, we're trying to see how important wellness is to entrepreneur and even to every individual who is listening or watching from wherever right now. Most importantly, we tend to forget that we are human first before becoming an entrepreneur. And that should resonate so well. We are human first before becoming an entrepreneur. And so, whatever will make us function as entrepreneur should start from us functioning well as human being. Most people want to really achieve peak performance. Most people want to be highly productive, and they really want to soak themselves into whatever they are doing, their businesses, their works, and everything, but fail to do that at the level of their wellness. And if you are not doing well, if you are not well, there is no how your business will be well, and there is no how you will be productive. As a matter of fact, your productivity is tied to your level of wellness. How well you are able to perform is tied to how well you have put up everything, every factor that has to do with your wellness. And one of it that I really want to talk about here is your mental health. What I call the tip of our health iceberg is the fact that most of us address the things on the surface. You know what an iceberg is? When you're walking or you're traveling on the sea or on whatever water, you only see the tip. You don't know that there is a large mass that is being covered by water that you don't even see at all. And so, as a sailor, if you judge the mass or the entire mass of the iceberg by what you see and you hit the iceberg, the boat or the ship somehow will capsize. So most entrepreneurs just think that when you just look at your wellness from the perspective of your physical health is enough. And your physical health comprises of diet and exercise. Everybody wants to eat well, no doubt about it. That is very important. And everybody also wants a kind of shape that then you go to the gym, whether it's 6 packs, whether it's 4 or 5 or 6 pack. Well, some of us, what we have is 1 pack, and we are good that way. But for whatever shape and everything and all those things that you do, you can achieve through physical exercise. They have a way of helping you, no doubt about it. But there are so many things that are lying underneath the water that you don't see and that you don't take cognizance of. And by the time you keep pushing them below the water or beneath the water, the more the adverse effect, the ripple effect, you begin to feel them, whether you know it or not. What about your environmental health? What about your emotional health? What about your mental health? What about your occupational health? What about your spiritual health? Because we, in one way or the other, have a spiritual connection. So the more you neglect all these other parts of you, the more you begin to show up in such a way with a whole lot of default, either you know it or not. So it is very important to take wellness holistically and make it a 360 degrees part of yourself, not tackling one part and leaving other part, because it's not going to be balanced in that sense. So you take a look at it, because you are first and foremost human before you are an entrepreneur. Remember, I say human. I didn't say superhuman, because most people think they are super, and then you think you can, jump from one place to another. You do a whole lot of things. Yes, but at a point in time, there will be some demands that will want you to stop, that will want you to halt. How well would you address all these things? That is going to determine how well you are going to last in whatever industry you found yourself, or whatever career you really want to pursue in your life in its entirety. P.
Wow. Before you are an entrepreneur, you are human first, not a superhuman. I
Mm,
just love that, because just because we do amazing things, we tend to forget that we're human. And I've seen this with entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurship is a lonely journey. You 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 just feel the need to just push all the time, and I believe in pushing, but I also believe in looking after yourself. And I love what you said about that. Before you're an entrepreneur, you are human. I
mm,
just love that. It just resonated with me so much. And um as an entrepreneur, what I feel like what people don't understand is that your success is directly related or linked to your physical and your mental well-being, being in
yeah.
a good state. That's what we don't get. And this leads me to my second question, that how can entrepreneurs navigate obstacles to reach business goals effectively and efficiently when challenged with mental health issues, challenges?
Great,
Yes.
great, great. And this is very, very important, because some of the things that I am going to say right in here are things that people are used to in one way or the other. And like I used to tell people, that the things that will change us, our lives, but individually, personally, our families, even your workplace, your business, they are necessarily not things that you don't know. I mean, we're in the information age right now, and information is a dime a dozen. Everything, get your phone, get your PC, get some search engine, and then you have a load of information. So some of the things I'm going to tell you, and what the gap is basically two things. Number one, there are things that you don't that you know but don't do. Then two, there are things that you know that you're doing but you're not doing well. So most of the things that I would just want to say right in here are the things that will push you to do what you've known before, that will help you. And then the second one is things that you're doing, how you're going to do them so well. So that said, now I want you to know the fact that, number one, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You need to take care of you first. And in that line, one thing that should resonate well with you is the fact that when you are facing challenges and obstacles, they are just the normal part of life as an entrepreneur. Most of us don't want to face challenges, we don't want to think about it. And as a mental health enthusiast, I really like to use the definition of mental health to explain this to people a lot. When you talk about being mentally healthy, that will definitely help you in your business, in your workplace, in your family, even in your relationship with other people. But what is that thing called mental health? Let me quickly define it, and that will answer a little bit of those questions. That whenever you are facing challenges, whenever you're having obstacles, what do you do? Now, I like the World Health Organization's definition of mental health, and I've created an analogy for it. It defines mental health first as a state of well being where an individual can achieve his or her potential, can cope with the normal stress of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and can contribute to his or her society. Wow, what an all encompassing definition that is. The first thing is the fact that mental health is a state of well being. And what is peculiar about state is that it is attained. So sometimes you might drift away from that state. I normally use water as an analogy in this particular example. I mean, this particular definition. Water exists in three important states. Number one is the solid. That's when you have from 0 degrees to minus degrees centigrade. So you have a water molecule that is solid. And then you have the liquid, which is when you have above 0 degree and above, then you have the liquid. Then the other part is the gas, that's the gaseous state form. That's when it is from 100 degrees and above. Now, each of these states, in one way or the other, is it water or not? Yes, it is. But the exposure of that water, in a layman's term now, to a certain amount of temperature determines the state is attained. So sometimes you don't need to beat yourself up when you are attaining one kind of state. It's just a state. All you need to do is to bring yourself back to that state that is desirable by either reducing the temperature. If you want to flow, if you are in that ice stage, you put up more temperature. And if you don't want to, evaporate, because sometimes we get to that level that we begin to be evaporative. Your ideas are evaporative. You don't even know how to get them together. All you need to do is to maybe slow down, reduce that temperature. So for you not to think that you face obstacle and challenges, number one, might be that thing that is even piling more pressure on you. One word that entrepreneurs don't want to listen to or don't want to hear is the word stress. And stress is that common phenomenon, between every one of us in one way or the other. And let me say categorically now that stress is good. The reason is because it is a regulatory mechanism in us. Without stress, we will not be alive. Without stress, you cannot be a good entrepreneur, because what it tells you is that there is a problem somewhere. So as an entrepreneur, what you need to now see is that how well will I be able to manage it? Either stress as a result of you not getting result. Maybe you want to start a business. I mean, one of the greatest phases of businesses is during that period that you want to hit the market. Maybe as an entrant to the market, you have a lot of obstacles. You have a whole lot of challenges. Maybe government policies will not favor you in one way or the other. And as a young entrepreneur, sometimes all these things try to compress you. So how well you are able to thrive depends on how you are able to first and foremost embrace those challenges and know that, yeah, they will come. They are part of the things that will make you grow. Like I said, that stress is good. It's a regulatory mechanism. It tells you that, yeah, something is about to happen. Whether you need to slow down, whether you need to flee, whether you need to freeze, any of those things. There are times all you need to do is to just get yourself together and sit down and just rest. You don't need to struggle. You don't need to run around. You don't need to jump around. You don't even need to make a call. Just prior to the time I came up right in here, I woke up today to a very severe headache as a result of the kind of weekend that I had. And all I needed to do was just to have a 2 hour time of rest, to recharge, to relax, and get myself back. So these are some of the things that we need to do as an entrepreneur in order to first and foremost get back our energy. Feel yourself and do not burn out yourself, because when you burn yourself out, there is no how you can give. What you have is what you give. You cannot give what you have. Feel yourself first before you can now give everything and before you become productive.
Oh my goodness. I'm so moved. I'm so moved by your that recharge and get back your energy. And that's what we tend to forget as entrepreneurs. Like it's all about I need to get the profit. I need to push. I can't just relax. And we tend to forget about ourselves, the human part of you being an entrepreneur. So recharging and getting back your energy is, it keeps on ringing, because I for one battle with recharge. It only it took for me having so many breakdowns, emotional
Mm,
breakdowns, physical breakdowns, where my body had to literally fail me, that I had to give in and listen to what my body was telling me. So the importance of recharge and getting back your energy, I cannot I just want to emphasize this. Like it hits home to me personally as an
mm,
individual, and not only to entrepreneurs, but as individuals, the importance of recharging. And it just got me thinking. As I was preparing for this conference, I came across an organization, Strong Minds, and what they basically do is that they bring mental health solutions to African communities, similar to what My Care Buddy does, but they do it offline. So I think you should link up with them. They're very good. And one thing that moved me is that they how they facilitate their sessions is that they have a facilitator. This facilitator gets allocated a number of people, and then they this facilitator is responsible to kind of help these individuals identify some of their triggers, the triggers to mental health, to assist these members that are part of the group. And once they've identified some of the triggers that cause their mental health challenges, they
Yeah.
sit down and formulate strategies on how to overcome some of
Mm,
these triggers and challenges. And
mm,
it just got me thinking with my next question, that I also battle with that at times, because I've seen that entrepreneurs have this notion that when your business is failing, you think you are failing, and we can't separate that. There's you, the entrepreneur, and there's your business, which are two completely different parts of your
mm,
life. Your
mhm.
business is your business, and then
Yeah.
you are an individual. And
Yeah.
we tend to pile that up and make it one, and it's not one. It's what you
Mhm.
do, but it's not who you are. And that's
Mm,
why we tend to take it very personally. When you fail, or when your business fails, you're like, oh my goodness, I am a failure. I am a
mhm,
failure. I'm inadequate, because I suffered from that from the longest time. When things are not working, I automatically equate it to myself. I'm like, the
mhm,
problem is me. And
mm,
it's not the case. That leads me to my next question, that
mm,
um what can entrepreneurs do to separate themselves from their personal lives and their business lives?
mm. Great. Great question, Pete. You're coming up, you're just churning out, insightful questions that will definitely generate answers from me. Now, let me give some statistics for you to really understand how well a whole lot of people, either an entrepreneur or an employee or wherever, how they're suffering in one way or the other, and the percentages. It is said that over 40% of employees or entrepreneur are neglecting other aspects of their life because of work, which may increase their vulnerability to mental health problems. Two, that when working for long hours, which almost all entrepreneurs do, that you really want to work and work and work, 27% feel depressed, while 34% feel anxious, and then 58% feel irritable. And that's why sometimes you don't even know why you're just getting depressed in one way or the other, because you have so much worked and worked, and then you've not even recharged, like we said earlier on. And some people also feel anxious. You're just nervous, you're just anxious, you're just panicking as a result of you working over and over again. Another thing is that 42% of women report unhappiness in their work life balance, compared to 29% of men. And the higher percentage in women is a consequence of competing life roles and more pressure to juggle. Because you have a whole lot of people who want, a whole lot of women who want to juggle a whole lot of things together. And that's why we have a higher percentage in women than men. And these are some of the things that we need to tackle right now. The first thing is what I called work life integration. Work life integration, things you can do. Now, you've heard a lot about work life balance, no doubt about it. And I mentioned that while reading out some stats right in there. But I tend to see that even in our brain, there is that thing that gets somehow nervous when you hear the word balance. Now, let me give you an instance. When you draw a straight line and someone says, P, you have to just walk on this straight line without moving sideways. And you that tend to really activate some fears in you, that will I be able to do this? You understand? But if you're doing that naturally, with nobody telling you to do that, you work on that straight line, you don't even unconsciously, subconsciously, and it works well. But let there be people gathered around, and they are now saying, hey, people want to do this now. But there will be something that will be telling you that, come on, you have to be very careful. So that will activate a form of, fear in you. And then you're trying to get your balance so well. The same thing when we talk about work-life balance. And therefore, it is better because words, vocabulary are very powerful. They have a way of shaping us, molding us. Instead, I try to call it now work-life integration, because what work-life balance says is that you are trying to see how you maintain a balance between work and life. And somehow the two are not different. It's just how you can now integrate work into your personal life so that both of them become so healthy. That's just the simple truth. Because when you talk about balance, you say, how well do I do this? How well do I do this? Do I do this way? Do I do that this way? Then in trying to creating that balance, you are creating a kind of picture for your brain. Your brain wants to listen to you, and that's how they function so well. So when they are listening to you and what they are getting, the feedback is that you are trying to maintain a balance, then it sets them in kind of disarray somehow. But when you say, okay, I want to integrate work into my life, and what that means is that I want to try as much as possible to see that work does not affect my life, and then my life also does not affect my job in one way or the other. It's just like the same way you can't separate your ham from your body. So when you integrate life or work into your life, rather, it gives you that ease of doing that business that you've set out to do. That's number one thing, work-life integration. That will help you in doing what you need to do per time to help your business as an entrepreneur. The number two is the fact that there are so many things that we have grown up to hearing that are really affecting us. For the female entrepreneurs who are listening to me right now, sometimes you feel that when you don't multitask, because they say it a lot, that yeah, female entrepreneur, you need to multitask, you need to do this, you need to do like 10 things together at the same time. And even in workplaces, before you get that job opportunity that you are having right now, during the interview, the first thing you ask, or some of the first things you're going to be asked, is how well can you multitask? And people take pride in it. Yeah, I can multitask. I can jump from the mountain top. While jumping, I will hold something. And while hold something, I will still be making a sound like this. Oh, you can do so many things all together. And that is somehow creating a whole lot of pressure on so many people. And most importantly, because the society at
We've lost Kunle there.
boxed our women into that kind of corner called the switching cost. It reduces your concentration sometimes. So sometimes as an entrepreneur, when you are finding it hard, most especially as a female entrepreneur, when you are finding it so difficult to multitask, it is okay. It is okay. Sometimes all you need to do is just to begin and finish it. And by that, you are even helping your brain, because what that says to you is that you are creating a better milestone for yourself. Okay, I want to do this particular thing to a certain level and give my brain the feedback that will help my brain also give me the feel good factor. Imagine when you finish something, when you finish a particular project, the kind of feel good factor you have. But if you are doing too many things together, then somehow your attention is divided, and at the end of the day you might not even succeed in all of them. That doesn't mean you should not multitask, but sometimes when you are getting some feedbacks that it is not really good enough, that is affecting your concentration ability, that's what I call it, your ability to concentrate, somehow you need to pause, you need to halt. That it is okay sometimes not to multitask, because as a lady, you see the percentage that was given. 47% feel depressed, or they have mental health related issue as a result of juggling competing life roles together. Then as a man too, there is that part that they tell you that you need to be rugged, and then you don't even need to show your emotions. All these are boxed into that what we call toxic masculinity and toxic femininity. in one way or the other. This is what the society had grown to tell us over and over again, and then we are trying as much as possible to feed ourselves in, whether it's so good for us or not. And then they tell you, as a man, you don't even need to show your emotions while you're doing business. Why should you tell a lady or your wife or your people, why should you let people know that you are having issue in your business, or the issue you are having is something that you cannot solve? And they tell you that you are almighty, you are omnipotent, you are omnipresent, you are omniscient, you know everything. You don't need to break down. You don't need even to show that you don't even know something. And that is killing a whole lot of people. And by so doing, they will just try to, box a whole lot of things, bottle up a whole lot of things, and that will affect them in the long run. So you need to also put all these things into consideration. Shun toxic masculinity in terms of work-related issues in your business. Shun toxic femininity as well, just like I have explained. Then try as much as possible to integrate work into your life. A whole lot of people have totally cut down their social life, their interaction with people, because of work. Like, I mean, we used to say that when you get to that leadership position, most especially as an entrepreneur, that it's lonely up there. And I used to tell people the reason why it's lonely up there is because you have failed to bring people along with you. Who are the people you have surrounded yourself with? How do you carry them along? Because there are three kinds of people that you cannot do without if you really want to be there and remain there and you have people around you. And those are the people behind, the people within, and the people ahead of you. And these are the people that you need all the time to help you as a form of support, as a form of help. People you share and your vision, your idea, everything, your business related issues with in one way or the other. And the people behind you need them, because succession is part of every business. That's why a whole lot of people will get to that point in time that they can no longer get further, and they will experience what is called breaking point. They go and then they shatter. I don't even know what is wrong any longer. And there is nobody to come and take the place. And that's why you have 1,001 business dies when the CEO dies. That's the end of the thing, because there's no people who they are grooming behind. The people within are the people within your circles, your friends who you can easily call on and do. I have this, I have that, and they're at your beck and call. And then what about the people ahead of you? Those are like your mentors. Those are people who have gone ahead of you. You need them in one way or the other as well. But a whole lot of people, you just think that it's just work and work and work. You forget people, you cut yourself out. And the more you do that, the more you are creating a hemorrhage for your business and your personal life.
Oh wow. I am so moved. I'm so moved, KP. When you said multitasking, not getting right. When you don't get multitasking right, it's okay. You don't have to be a multitasker. And it's the one step at a time, one project at a time.
Mm,
Sometimes I think it's amongst women. We have this thing that we want to do everything. Like you want to do everything at the same time, and
mm,
you believe you can do it. And I'm not saying that we can't do it, but like
yeah.
sometimes it's really unnecessary to want to take on everything by yourself. And
Mm,
I also love what you said about we tend to neglect that we've got social lives. And I
mm,
also suffer from that, because the minute I go through stuff, I cannot go on social media. I am battling to have this social aspect of my life, and
mm,
it's very difficult to me to balance. And that's why I was touched when you made that illustration of the drawing the straight line. I'm also afraid of hearing the whole notion of get a balance, get,
mm,
you need to find balance. Everybody's always
mm,
talking about you need to find balance,
mm,
especially if you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to find balance. And I also struggle with finding balance, because I know I have this thing where I want to do everything, and it's because it's planted. It's we are told, when we grow up as when we grow up as women, like we're told, no, you can do this. The fact that a
absolutely.
woman has a baby, the baby's crying, she has to clean the house, and you just want to do everything at one go. And
Exactly.
I have that. I'm
Mm,
trying to break free from that, because I can see it has an impact on my
mm,
mental health and my
mm,
well-being the minute I
mm,
want to do everything. And I love what you said about who are you taking to the top. Yeah, I really I have an issue with that as well. That you find people who say it's lonely at the top, but there's so many people at the bottom. It
Absolutely.
how can it be lonely at the
Mm,
top, whereas there are so many people at the
at
bottom?
the bottom.
Why are you not taking some of these
Exactly.
people and bringing them up with you instead of staying by yourself at the top? And it really it baffles me at times when I hear that,
Mm,
because we need to start bringing people to the top,
yeah.
and maybe it won't get so lonely, and maybe we won't get,
Hmm.
you won't have so much stress there at the
Exactly.
top, and this, this negative stress where you are sick, you are not okay because you're doing everything by yourself. So um
Exactly.
I hope that is challenging so many women and men out here, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. It's lonely at the top because you don't want to take people. Bring people, please bring
Mm,
people to the top with you, and maybe it won't get so lonely. And this leads me to my final question. Ignoring mental health has far-reaching impacts, and that's what we've established today.
mm,
And what is it that what can entrepreneurs do to strengthen their well-being with their daily routine?
mm. Great. There are 1,001 things that you could do, but I'm just going to mention some things that are very, very, easy for you to adopt. Like I said, there are some little things that you don't even take note, and they can help you a lot. Most entrepreneur, no doubt, we will get soaked by the daily lives of an entrepreneur, the things you do, how to source for funds. Sometimes you don't even have those funds coming, and you have debt as well. Some people are into debt as a result of running their businesses, and you have a whole lot of things, a whole lot of pressures to really contend with, even while you're running your business, and that tend to weigh you down in one way or the other. And by the time you are exhibiting what those things are telling you to do, and you begin to show some traits of somebody who is frustrated. And there's no how you can grow a business with frustration. There's no how you can grow your business feeling depressed. So what are those little things that will not cost you so much to do? Because one of the things people will be watching out for is, yeah, I want to hear what I have not heard before. I want to hear what will definitely change me. Like I said earlier on, there are just little things that you might just adopt. The first thing as an entrepreneur that I want you to really adopt to your life is what I call gratitude. I have an acronym for these whenever I want to share with people things that can help you both mentally, even physically. I call it gratitude. I call it GMC. So the G in that GMC stands for gratitude. Gratitude has a way of trying to really gladden your mind and trying to make you find things that had worked for you. And by the time you begin to do that, it creates a feel good effect in you that will push you to do better things. Your brain is wired to look for things that are wrong. I mean, it is instinct in us. It's an instinct in us as a result of, what we are used to way back in those days, when we used to live in the bush as an early man. Your brain wants to be on the alert in finding danger. So that's why somehow, even we grow up these days getting used to, bad news. When you hear news of COVID-19, I mean, those are the things that sell so well. You know, that's where your brain will even focus on, immediately, either in the newspaper. But it is your point of duty now to see how you can redirect your brain to function in that way that will help you to help you secrete those hormones that will make you feel good. And when those hormones are secreted, then a whole lot begins to happen. I mean, when you see a little child who sees a meal that he or she likes, there is a joy that comes from that. It is called feel good effect. And you see the child jumping. The same way it happens to us. When you are grateful, when you think about what you have done or what you can even be grateful for, somehow it helps you. It helps you stay in the present. Because most entrepreneurs want to say, yeah, what will tomorrow bring? I mean, what will next year bring? It is good to be futuristic. It's good to plan. But most people, their planning puts more pressure on them as well. So you are just operating on what I call double P. You're planning, and then you are also operating under pressure. And nothing works when you are pressurized, or when you let yourself stay under that kind of condition. So gratitude releases your heart. And then there is two emotions that mess us up, and those emotions are anger and fear. And it is said that gratitude is the antidote to those two emotions. And one thing that you can do for those who are listening to me is do what I call gratitude journal every day. As an entrepreneur, write down things that are working that you can be grateful for. You can have a card like this whereby you write things that are working for you, depending on what you have on a daily basis. So on a daily basis, have your gratitude card. Yes, thank you, P. Write it. I mean, from what you can see now, you can see what I wrote here. Number one, I'm grateful for my family. Two, I'm grateful for my friends. Three, I'm grateful for how somebody attended to me. I mean, you can get specific. They are little things, but they give your brain the feedback that it needs. Gratitude journal. Number two is then the mindfulness. That's the M in GMC. The mindfulness makes you stay in the present, the ability to stay in the present. I have mentioned this while I was talking about gratitude earlier on. It's good to plan ahead. It's good to think of what's going to happen next year. But look at what COVID-19 taught us a couple of years ago when it came. Everybody just wanted to be alive. Everybody wanted to stay alive, to remain alive at that point in time. That's what mindfulness is all about. So you, like I said earlier on, you are first and foremost human before you become an entrepreneur. So what you need to do is to see how you can also even be present first. What are the things? I mean, block your mind from all those things that are yet undone, and bring yourself to the present. That will help you. And the last on that list, but it's not the least there, is the fact that you can engage in what I call conscious breathing. When you have a whole lot of things holding you back, holding you down. As a matter of fact, you have even met your Waterloo. But I used to tell people, when you meet your Waterloo, try to turn it to your swimming pool. You have a whole lot of things working against you. Just stay. Take a deep breath, because there is a connection between your breath, your body, and your mind. Your breath is like the energy for your brain, because when you take in oxygen is like the food for the brain. It's like the energy for the brain. So you give yourself more energy when you even sit down sometime. You see that these things are not expensive for you. There are things that you can do. Just get yourself together, get into a room. You can practice it while at home. You can practice it even in the workplace, because we are even trying to change workplace, appearances now. Let there be a space whereby people can just go right there to just be grateful, to listen to music, and then to sit down and have this breathing exercise in one way or the other. Take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Like I used to tell people, remember to breathe. So whenever you are going through what you're going through, the fact that you're still breathing means a lot, that you're still alive. You can still face those challenges, and then you can still come out stronger and better.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. That was so that was moving. I know you taught me GMT last year, so I remember it very well and I still practice it. And the lovely part about practicing the GMT is that it taught me to stay in the present.
Hmm.
Like, you stay in the present. You are where you are, and you are where you need to be right now. And if you have not accomplished the task that you wanted to accomplish today, it is what it is. And you let
Absolutely.
go and you try again the following day. But you stay in the present because you don't want to forget about some of the beautiful things that have happened. And
Correct.
and that's why I love it. When KP taught me, GMT last year, I took some time and I was like, maybe, let me try this out. Let me try this out. And it helped me. It
Wow.
helped me.
I'm
I
glad.
still practice GMT. Like you saw, I journal. I believe
Yeah.
in
Wow.
journaling every
Wow.
day. It's very, very healthy, and I do advise a whole lot of people to consider journaling. It does help. You just release. Every day you want to release. Sometimes you don't have the strength to talk to
Mm-hmm.
people, but the only strength that you could have at that point of need is writing. So I advise that man, woman, whoever, even children, get them journals. Let's express ourselves, let's release, and let's learn to stay in the present and be very grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be very grateful. I think what the pandemic taught me was just to be grateful. Like,
Mm.
I just need to be grateful. Where I am is there I am, and it's not the end.
Mm.
And I thank you so much, KP, for today. I really appreciate your time and your wisdom all the time. It is always, I get very happy all the time when I engage with you because I learn so much from you. So I'm so, like, I'm happy. And I know that anybody who's going to be listening
Mm.
to this stream is going to benefit so much from all the wisdom that you shared today. And it leads me to my last request.
And
My
the
last
last
request.
assignment.
Your last, the last assignment, because this is Entrepreneurship with Purpose, a
Yeah.
conference, and we are ready to showcase. We'll be bringing in very interesting businesses, uh across the African continent. Very, very, very interesting. You're going to love them. Please do tune in. So the last assignment that KP has is to launch and declare the conference open and ready. So over to you.
Wow. Thank you so much, P, for this wonderful honor. I mean, it's a great honor for me to declare the conference open, and I can't take that for granted. And before doing that, I want to say to everybody who is watching live, and then to those who are going to join us or who are going to watch later on, this is something that you need to really plug into. I mean, watch the resourceful people who are coming that's going to change a whole lot of things about your business and even about you as an individual. This is just a snippet. This is just a tip of the iceberg that you've just seen now. We have people who are coming and going to, set the roof on fire. But this time around, it's a good fire. So there will be no need to call 911 or call a firefighter because it's good fire for you. So for those who are watching, it's something that you cannot afford to miss. You just have to set your alarm, set it in your calendar, how you're going to join the Entrepreneurship with Purpose conference when they start officially. And I mean, we are launching it right today now. So, and you consider it just as a great privilege for being part of it. For those who are watching, I can see people from Ghana, from Zimbabwe, from Nigeria, and from all the different parts of Africa, and even across the entire world. And by the power and authority conferred on me by the organizers of this program, PUA, and the entire team, I declare that the Entrepreneurship with Purpose Conference is hereby live, activated, and launched. Thank you, everybody.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You heard KP. It's the Entrepreneur Purpose Conference is live. It's activated. You don't want to miss this. Please, you don't want to miss this. Tell a friend to tell a friend, whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, employee, whatever, whoever you are, come and listen to the very, very, very inspirational stories. You'll be inspired, you'll be moved. You'll be moved. Maybe you need to hear to start. Maybe this is the platform that was designed for somebody to start whatever they want to start just by listening. So I thank you so much, Mr. KP, for your time, your wisdom. I appreciate it always. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who joined in and everybody who is yet to still watch. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to start having these conversations with all these amazing women. And I thank you so much. This is Entrepreneurship with Purpose Conference, And my name is Piwe Mwabe, and we thank you, KP, for your time. We'll see you soon. It's not goodbye, it's see you soon. So thank
Yeah.
you.
See you soon, to P.
See you soon. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Yes.